Your fees have been paid, full, by an anonymous donor. I stared at the bursar like she had just spoken in alien language. Anonymous, I repeated. Anonymous, she confirmed, already looking past me at the next student. It was my second year at Creston University, Lagos. I had been carrying a debt letter in my bag for 3 weeks. 3 weeks of dodging the finance office, eating gari for dinner, and pretending everything was fine on Instagram. I walked out of that office completely confused. I called my mother. She knew nothing. I called my aunt in Abuja. She said, "Don't look at me." I called my older brother. He laughed and hung up. Nobody knew anything. Bisi, my best friend, was waiting outside. She had her bright orange wig on that day, a yellow crop top, and white sneakers that were somehow always clean. "So," she asked, "someone paid my fees." Bisi screamed so loud a pigeon flew off a nearby tree. "Zara, you have a sponsor." "It's not a sponsor. Calm down." "Free money from a mystery person? Baby, that's a sponsor." I told her to shut up, but deep down I was scared because free things never stay free. Who paid and what did they want in return? I made a list of everyone who could have paid my fees. The list had exactly 3 names on it. My uncle Richard, ruled out immediately. The man still owed me 5,000 naira from 2019. My church pastor, possible, but he usually sent prayers, not cash. Daniel Ose, my coursemate, quiet guy, always alone, always staring at his laptop. I didn't think seriously about Daniel. He was just there, present but forgettable. He sat 2 rows behind me in economics class. He wore a plain white t-shirt almost every Tuesday. He had this deep, calm voice he barely used. We had spoken maybe 7 times in 2 years. Bisi had other theories. "It's definitely a rich old man who saw you at the cafeteria," she said, eating my chin-chin. "Bisi, this is serious." "I am very serious. Old rich men do this." "Nobody saw me at any cafeteria." "You were wearing that fitted jeans that day, Zara. Trust me, someone saw you." I ignored her, but I went back to the bursar's office and asked for any detail at all. The clerk looked left, then right, then whispered, "It was a student. That's all I can say." A student. A student paid my full school fees, and I had no idea who. I decided the best strategy was confrontation. I picked my top suspect, Emeka Balugu. Emeka was the guy in our department who drove a Benz, wore designer everything, and smiled at every girl like he had a quota to meet. He was tall, yellow-skinned, always in a button-down shirt with his sleeves rolled up, the kind of guy who smelled like money and knew it. I walked straight up to him after Thursday lecture. "Emeka, did you pay my school fees?" He blinked. "Your what?" "My school fees." He blinked again, then laughed. Loud. "Zara, I can barely pay my own fees. My dad froze my allowance last month." I stared at him. "You drive a Benz." "It's my uncle's. I borrowed it for 1 week and I've been using it for 5 months. Please don't tell anyone." I walked away. Bisi was crying from laughing when I reported back. "You accused Emeka, the guy who borrowed gari from us in first year?" "He drives a Benz, Bisi. Borrowed Benz, Zara." Behind us, I heard a quiet laugh. I turned around. Daniel Ose was sitting on the bench nearby, looking at his laptop, trying very hard not to smile. Something about that almost smile made my stomach feel strange. I started noticing Daniel after that. Not in a romantic way, in a suspicious way. There's a difference. He was always calm. Not the fake calm of someone trying to look cool, actually calm, like someone who had already figured life out at 24 and just didn't bother telling anyone. He was tall, dark, always in fitted, simple clothes, never loud colors. A plain tee and dark chinos were basically his uniform. His low fade was always fresh though, always. He had one friend, a short guy named Kofi, who laughed at everything. One afternoon in the library, I sat across from him. Daniel. He looked up slowly. Zara. Did you pay my school fees? He held my gaze for exactly 3 seconds. Why would I do that? That's not a no. It's also not a yes. I leaned forward. Daniel. You are in the middle of the library, he said quietly, and you're kind of making a scene. I looked around. 3 people were watching us. I sat back, embarrassed. He went back to his laptop. Bisi texted me 30 seconds later. He didn't deny it, Zara. He didn't deny it. He didn't deny it, and I didn't know what to do with that. Third year, it happened again. Fees paid. Full. Anonymous. This time, I didn't go to Emeka. I didn't make a list. I walked straight to Daniel. He was at his usual spot near the engineering block, eating jollof rice from a takeaway pack, looking completely unbothered. It happened again, I said. He chewed slowly. What did? Daniel? Zara? Stop repeating my name like that. You keep repeating mine like it's an accusation. I sat down across from him on the bench, uninvited. He didn't complain. If it's you, I said carefully, I need to know why. Because I can't keep owing someone something and not knowing what they want. He was quiet for a long time. Then he said, what if they don't want anything? People always want something. He looked at me then, really looked like he was deciding something. Not always, he said. Then Kofi appeared out of nowhere, grabbed Daniel's fork, stole a chunk of his meat and ran. Daniel sighed deeply. That man. And just like that, the moment was gone. But his words stayed with me for weeks. Bisi decided she was done waiting for me to figure things out. I'm conducting an investigation, she announced one morning, in her red Ankara skirt and block heels, looking like she was about to cross-examine someone in court. Please don't, I said. She was already gone. By afternoon, she had cornered Kofi near the cafeteria. Kofi, bless his soul, cracked in 4 minutes flat. Bisi came back to her room looking like she had just discovered gold. She sat down, crossed her legs, took a long, dramatic breath. Daniel Osei, she said, has been in love with you since your first week on campus. Silence. He saw you arguing with a lecturer about a wrong grade. You had your braids in a bun and you were wearing your green hoodie. He told Kofi that day, that girl is going to be a problem for me. More silence. He's been paying your fees because he overheard you crying on the phone to your mom about dropping out. My heart did something I didn't have words for. Why didn't he just tell me? I finally said. Bisi looked at me like I was a child. Zara, you literally accused a man in the middle of the library. She had a point, a terrible, painful point. I planned a calm, mature conversation. What I delivered was not that. I found Daniel in the campus garden after evening classes. He was sitting on the grass, reading. His white shirt was slightly wrinkled. He looked annoyingly peaceful. You're in love with me, I said. He looked up slowly, closed his book. Good evening, Zara. Don't good evening me. Kofi told Bisi everything. A long pause. Kofi, he said quietly, is a dead man. Daniel, what do you want me to say? The truth. He stood up. He was very tall when he stood. I hadn't quite remembered that. Fine, he said. Yes, I paid your fees, all of it, because I didn't want you to leave school over money when I could help. That's thousands of CDs. I know what it costs. I paid it. Why didn't you tell me? Because I didn't pay it so you'd notice me, Zara. His voice was calm, steady. I paid it because I wanted you to stay. That's all. I opened my mouth. Nothing came out. He picked up his book and walked away. And I stood there feeling like the world's biggest fool. Fourth year. The fees were paid again before I even got a bill. But this time, I found a small note tucked in my departmental pigeonhole. Last one. You graduate next year. Make it count. D. I sat in the hallway and read that note 4 times. Bisi read it over my shoulder and immediately started crying. This man, she whispered, this quiet man. I had spent 3 years being confused, suspicious, stubborn, and oblivious. Daniel had spent 3 years paying, watching, hoping for nothing, and never once making me feel like I owed him a single thing. I thought about every time I had been rude to him, every time I walked away from a conversation, every time I suspected him like he was a criminal for being kind. I felt genuinely terrible. That evening, I went to find him. He was at the library. Of course he was. I sat across from him. He looked up. His expression was completely unreadable. "Hi," I said. "Hi," he said. Silence. "I read the note," I said. "I figured." "Daniel, Zara." His voice was gentle. "You don't have to say anything." "I want to." And for the first time in 4 years, he put down his laptop and actually listened. "I'm sorry," I said, "for treating your kindness like a puzzle I needed to solve." He was quiet, not cold, just thinking. "I'm not angry," he said finally. "You should be a little." A small smile, the same almost smile from the bench 3 years ago. "I know who you were from the beginning, Zara. You don't trust easily. You don't accept things you don't understand. That's not a flaw. I made you treat you badly. You were protecting yourself. There's nothing wrong with that." I looked at him across that library table and saw him properly, maybe for the first time. He wasn't trying to buy my attention. He wasn't expecting a reward. He had simply decided, quietly, that I was worth caring about, and he did it without making it my problem. "What happens now?" I asked. "You graduate," he said simply. "You go be great." "And you?" He tilted his head slightly. "I'll be around." "That's not an answer." "No," he agreed, "it's not." Bisi texted me in that moment. "What is happening right now? I'm outside the library. Give me a sign." I almost laughed. Almost, because what happened next was not funny at all. I found out the full truth from Kofi at graduation dinner. Daniel had taken a part-time job in second year, logistics company, weekends and late nights, specifically to cover my fees, without touching his own budget or asking his family for money. He never told anyone, not even Kofi at first. He had graduated the year before me. He was already working, building something quiet and steady, the same way he did everything. At the dinner, he showed up in a clean-fitted navy blazer over a white shirt. Same calm face, coffee beside him, already emotional over the jollof rice. Bisi pushed me forward like a football coach sending in a player. I walked up to Daniel. "Kofi told me about the job," I said. He shot Kofi a look. Kofi suddenly found the ceiling very interesting. "It wasn't a big deal," Daniel said. "Daniel, it was a very big deal." He looked at me, just looked. "I like you," I said. "I think I have for a while. I was just too busy being stubborn to notice." Silence. Then the first real, full smile I had ever seen on his face. "I know," he said softly. I waited. Moral lessons. 1. Silence is not absence. Daniel never announced his feelings or his sacrifices, but he showed up consistently. Real love is often quiet. 2. Stubbornness can blind you. Zara almost missed something beautiful because she was too suspicious to be open. Question things, but don't close your heart completely. 3. Kindness without an agenda is rare and worth recognizing. Daniel gave without expecting anything back. That kind of person deserves to be seen clearly. 4. It's never too late to say sorry and mean it. Zara's apology came late, but it came honestly. That mattered. 5. Protect your peace, but leave room for people who genuinely mean you well. Not everyone with good intentions is out to trap you. The end. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share this story if it touched you. Someone out there needs to watch this today.